All right, that's cool. The intro screen's a little different. I'll keep it on here. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to Mamiya. So, as expected, this series isn't going to get as much traction as some of the others, but I really hope people find this. It's a brilliant visual novel, and honestly, it'd make a pretty interesting anime now that I think about it. But yeah, despite the fact that it might not be like hyper interested or like have a big audience, like this is almost what I live for. I love playing games that are not as well known, maybe don't get as appreciated as they should, and hopefully I can help be a vessel to help bring these fantastic titles to others. So if you've never seen Mamiya before and you're still watching this, well, don't. Like, you really should step away, buy the game, and enjoy it yourself. Of course, if you've watched the playlist and you've gotten here, I hope you've enjoyed it. Yeah, I don't know how much longer this series goes for, since technically we're through the first two like acts, but I imagine we're going to have like a chapter breakdown, kind of like we've seen before, where we're going to go through each of the side characters and then maybe have some kind of culmination for the finale of it, everything. So I'm excited for that. So I guess, yeah, I don't know what else to say other than the fact that thanks for being here. I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. If I can figure out where we go. Okay, there's a load. Okay. Ah, Kato, come here. Hey there, Midori. There's something you should see. I also got something I wanted you to see. I wonder what yours is. Hiding the sample behind him, he followed them. It must have been more dramatic to leave the fun stuff for last. Kato, look! A butterfly! In Kikuchi Midori's plastic bag, there was a colorful butterfly unlike any they had seen in the field guide. Ah! Wow, it's so pretty. Kato's heart began to ache. I've never seen anything like this. We should figure out its species and... Yeah, it's pretty. Bye-bye. Huh? Midori opened the bag, allowing the butterfly to flutter away. Why did you do that? It was a butterfly like no other. It was pretty, so I just wanted to show it to you. But if it's pretty, why not keep it? Huh? While Suou Kato stood there frozen in confusion, Kikuchi Ryo gave him a tap on the shoulder. That's just how she is. She doesn't get attached or anything in nature. But why? It was a rare butterfly. It hasn't been found in Japan before. It may have even been a new species. She does it all the time. Is that why she doesn't get attached to anything? Yeah. Unable to swallow the word, he kept savoring it in his mouth over and over again. By the way, what did you want to show us? Huh? It's nothing. Forget about it. Cause didn't he have like he was gonna bring a butterfly in like a sample, like that's on display. Soon after, the three followed their way home. The shadows they cast in the evening sun fell over Suou. What a strong light, he thought. It must be nice. It's really loud now. Holy crap. I'll be going now. Good job today. Be careful on your way home. Sure. Man, it sure is a cold night. He left his job, the one he got at by faking his age, and hurried home while putting up with the cold. But then he stopped when he saw a familiar back below an uncomfortable streetlight. Suou? Is that you? It was the youth he'd seen at the beach. Ryo felt like the night air could freeze him to the bone, but Suou was lightly dressed, so he ran to him out of concern. Didn't you hear me? The youth quickly turned around, and when Ryo saw his face, his blood froze. Instinctively sensing danger, he leapt back to make distance. Are you Suou? His eyes were clouded, his consciousness seemed absent, but this was no doubt the man Ryo had seen at the sea recently. Upon closer examination, he noticed that he wasn't wearing proper clothing or even shoes worthy of this weather. No way, right? Ryo became worried when he'd become involved in some incident and ran away from the scene. Don't worry, it's all right. Tell me what happened, Suou. You're cold, right? You can have my coat, so... The moment he began to remove his coat... Gah! The fist crashed into his face. It wasn't telegraphed whatsoever. Dude, what the hell? No. No, what? This king didn't seem to like this too much. This king? I'm not sure if that's supposed to be kid, or I don't know. Well, whatever. I'll lead you back to your place. You remember where it is, right? Rio tried pulling Suou, but he wasn't moving at all. It was almost as if he'd grown roots into the ground. Hey, get a grip. Rio? What? You're bleeding from your nose. Yeah, because you clocked me. The air was dry, so the punch must have split a vessel near the surface. Don't worry about it. Let's get you back. Blood is flesh. Huh? Go fetch me. Ugh, that's really weird. The next moment, Suou was right in front of him. The light behind him had made it impossible to see his expression. A warm breath fell on the tip of his nose. Ugh! He's licking my nose, Rio thought. Felt like wet flesh closing the hole through which he breathed. Suou's wet tongue wriggled around his heated breath in the air surrounding them, taking turns to touch Rio's nose. Oh! God, this is just what I needed. Nightmares! Nightmares tonight! He felt as if he's breathing in at the wrong time would lead him to inhaling and choking on his saliva. That was when he realized that Suou was sucking his blood. With his mouth deep on Rio's nose, he was greedily slurping up the blood. Hey, you! Cut it out! Huh? Wait. Where are you going? Rio wiped his nose to stop Suou and stopped Suou as he tried to walk away without a word. Come with me, then. Hey! Suou grabbed Rio with intense strength and pulled him away. Felt as if the mechanism keeping Suou's strength in check were gone. Rio had trouble keeping up with him without hurting himself. Rio first found himself at Suou's place, but he instantly dragged him to his room upstairs. What the hell's this about? You're so cold. Huh? You're really cold. Thanks. He was about to submit to those unconditional words when he was able to, but he was able to keep it together. Let go of my arm. I need to go home and sleep. No. What do you mean, no? It's not enough. I didn't have enough fun today. I didn't want it to end. I want a fun like I've never had before. That's the most reason to keep sleep. Nothing happens at night and I won't bleed anymore. How boring. Get used to it. This is how the world is. So it's gonna be boring even as it ends, huh? What a shame. So, did you actually fall asleep? Seriously? Yep, he's out. Let go of me. Hey, Suou! Suou. Hey, wake up already! Huh? Rio, why do you... Your arm, I grabbed it and bruised it. Was I holding it while sleeping? You don't remember. Remember what? I'm leaving. Please wait, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cause trouble for you. It's better not to apologize at all than apologize for things you don't remember doing. Huh. Just go to a medical clinic. Bye. The letter. I wrote a reply to you. I don't know what this is, but I'm sorry, Please don't leave me. Interesting. Daybreak after dark. So yeah, that's quite a turn. We knew he was sleepwalking and that he was doing stuff in his sleep, but he's like semi-conscious or maybe possessed by Mamiya at the time, or like somewhat, because he acted very strange, but then he also did kind of give into that urge he has of collecting things to preserve them. Interesting. Very interesting. 02, Prince of the Land of Night. Side daydream. Oh no, what do I do? A drizzle hit the classroom window. A cloud of uncertainty fell upon his heart. He couldn't forget the look on Rio's face at the morning, full of anger and shock. Suou wondered if his anger had anything to do with his dirty feet. It's not just in a dream. I caused trouble for him in reality, too. The rain continued even after classes had ended. Suou pulled up a blue umbrella and went to the sea. A depressive black rain intensely battered the surface of the sea. There's no one here, huh? He went to the sea whether it was rainy or windy. But no matter how often he came, Ryo and Midori were never there. Man, did I really make him hate me? If only I had a letter for you. That's all it would take to calm me down. He'd rewritten his response many times since that day, and the newest version had become all damp from the moisture. Kikuchi Ryo's letter put Suou Kaito into a strange emotional state. It was like smelling the scent of a blanket he'd often used when he was little. He felt as though it brought him to a place safer than any other in the world, completely untouchable. I don't think I could convey this to you even if you appeared before me right here and now. The words that escape my mouth feel shallow and incomplete. They only convey about half of what I want to say. I'll continue writing so I can one day show it to you, even if that day never comes. You have a letter. Samejima suddenly appeared at the door to Suo's house and gave him an envelope. It's for you from Kikuchi Ryo. Why do you have a letter from him? I'll be leaving then. Why? I went to the sea so many times and never once saw him. Why do you... Where is he now? Under house arrest. Was he involved in something bad? That, I'm afraid, is confidential. Please let me see him. I need to apologize to him. In that case, write him a letter. Worry not, I will take it to him. Kaito quickly went back in and opened the envelope. This was a long-awaited letter from Kikuchi Ryo. That, coupled with the oddly ominous aura around this whole situation, made him rub his light blue hair before he started reading. Suou, thanks for the letter. The stuff you wrote helped me cheer up a bit. He's not mad? I have a request for you. I want you to check if Midori's alright. Huh? I'm not with her right now. I can't even go check on her. I know that you probably have your own stuff to worry about. But still, if you're the only one I can ask, please, I'm counting on you. Once this is over, let's get some donuts, all three of us. So that's why he didn't come to the sea. So he didn't grow to hate me. I should help him. I'll go find Midori. I'll help them both. I guess it's probably Midori, right? Midori. Excuse me, did Kikuchi Midori come to school? Suou left school early and went to the elementary school Ryo mentioned in the letter. He felt keenly and the desperation coming from the request to see if Midori was actually going to school. A student? Do you have business with our school? I got worried when I heard she was sick, so I came over to check up on her. Sick, but that's... Ah, Kaito! Suou had no trouble finding Kikuchi Midori. Midori, you're going to school as normal. She took a few days off, but she's doing fine now. What's up, Kaito? Ryo was so worried about you. I thought something must have happened. Midori? Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine without Ryo. I have Osamu. Osamu? That unfamiliar name put Kaito on edge. Is that someone Ryo knows? Yeah, Ryo knows him too. Choosing his words carefully, Kaito looked into the girl's eyes. You shouldn't worry. Her new guardian's doing a proper job. New guardian? Midori and the teacher seemed to trust this Osamu, but Kaito was worried there might have been some ulterior motives at work here. Oh yeah, I'm not sure I like it either. I'm worried it's gonna be one of the originals. If it is, then they're gonna just use Midori as a new target. If that was the case, I'd be unable to look Ryo in the eye. Kaito? Midori? Please introduce me to this Osamu. Osamu, I'm home. Hey, a friend wants to meet you. Kaito, come in. Okay. Having been granted permission to enter, Kaito took off his shoes only to hear a different voice. Remember what I told you, Midori? You should call me Uncle Osa. I knew it! Welcome to my place. You're from the library. So you're Osamu? Okay, you two are already friends? Wow! Slow down, Midori. He and I aren't. Don't be like that, Kato. Huh. Anyway, I gotta have you standing while talking. Come in for some tea. Oh gosh, this is gonna go so bad. He was led into a living room full of books. Kikuchi Midori was glued to an evening anime. You got questions, right? I'll happily answer them all. Are you really Midori's guardian? I am. I had to take her in due to some circumstances at her home. I used to be close to the Kikuchis, so it's a little act of friendship on my part. Where is he now? Is he alright? How much do you know about him anyway? Huh? Did you know that he was subjected to domestic violence basically every day? Huh? Kato's vision darkened. Anyway, I'll just tell you that he's safer than he's been in his home. I see. Alright, my turn to ask a question. Did you finish reading A Meeting on an Afternoon Moon? The sequel to The Prince of the Land of Night. I finished and returned it. How was it? So-so, I guess. Relax, no one else is listening. You can be honest with me. Just say that it was boring as shit. It was so mediocre, I had a hard time believing it was the sequel to a masterpiece like Prince of the Land of Night. If I knew it was going to ruin my memories of the original, I would have preferred the sequel never came out. I simply set my expectations too high. I don't share your opinion. We do share many acquaintances, though. How do you know Mamiya? Finally, you ask. He made a brief chuckle before giving Kato a book. What is this? My book. Huh? You're a writer? Excited, Kato looked at the name of the book's author, Arisugawa Osamu. When he saw the title, it sent a chill down his spine. It's Mamiya. Do you get it now, Suou Kato? Why do you know that name too? Mamiya isn't yours. Mamiya belongs to everyone. What do you mean by that? You'll get it when you read it. Kikuchi Midori had grown tired of the excitement of the anime and was on the verge of falling asleep. The settling winter sun shining through the window led to the room of reddish tint. The annoying thing about sequels is that they present you with a result different from the aftertaste you got from the original. The more you're invested in and love the first entry, the more disappointed you are by the follow-up. So he's been able to plant the seed for Mamiya into other people, and he's witnessing that with Kato. But he's not very thrilled with the result, especially because he's, like he said, he wants Mamiya to be something that belongs to everybody. He wants everyone to have interactions with Mamiya. But people are like clinging to it and wanting it to be like a personal secret, and he's not happy with that. There's nothing sadder than the author himself killing the space left for the reader's fantasy. I'd never mess up like that. I'll crush everything that gets in the way of my work. His cold glare made Kato gulp. You should leave now. It's dinner time. Please, tell me more. The hand put up before his eyes cut the words short. Sorry, I'm only interested in my readers. What's that about? What was he to Mamiya? Wait, if so he's an author, why did he use this title? He talked big, that's probably nothing much. It's so late, I haven't bathed or eaten. The book is so good. Kato fixed his gaze on the cover of the book he just finished. The Mamiya in this story was definitely my Mamiya too. The words at the end of the book left an especially strong impression. They went, if you also have a Mamiya by your side, do let me know about them in secret. Only those who knew Mamiya could sniff this out, but this was a code, a desperate desire, that he was hell-bent on identifying Mamiya. What's this about, Mamiya? Can you be seen by people other than me and Mr. Arisugawa? How many of us are there? Are you some sort of fragment of a greater whole? In that case, where's the original? With every new question voiced, Kato came closer and closer to the truth he'd been avoiding. Is it the Mamiya that Mr. Arisugawa wrote about? Is that my friend's original? Suou Kato's Mamiya failed to even answer that much. Interesting. Prince of the Land of Night. Interesting. Ooh, it's getting spicy, and the lore is really starting to come forward. Now we're getting, like, people are asking the right questions, and people are starting to understand a little bit about it, and maybe that's going to be a boon. We talked about how, like, the Mamiyas were going to be strengthened because they're going to be having overlapping influence in the world, and so it's going to be stronger and more, like, impactful, and Mamiya might be able to do more, even in the metaphysical sense. But it also might start bringing together enough information to really start bringing it about. And the fact is that Mamiyas always were isolated with the different individuals. So when these individuals start talking to each other and sharing and comparing notes, it will reinforce the illusion, but it at the same time will probably reduce the mystique and might make it feel easier for them to understand that it's a bad influence on them. And so in a way, it might actually subvert the whole illusion by making it so real, it stops being magical and starts being analyzed and, like, really strongly considered, because they're like, okay, it's definitely not a figment of my imagination, this is a thing. And that is a little more scary, knowing that it's not just a part of my brain trying to comfort itself. Anyway, I'm in the the black coat that delivers mail. Did you write a letter? No, I couldn't. That was no lie. He was unable to write anything because his mind was so full of Arisugawa Osamu's writing. He didn't know why, but he found himself comparing his own letters to that man's text and ended up disappointed. It made him feel as though he didn't have any words that could reach Kikuchi Ryo. I see. I'll be on my way then. Mr. Samajima, do you know where Ryo is, right? I do, but I won't tell you. I recently met a man named Arisugawa. Huh? Does he have something to do with the fact that Ryo's missing? Wait a second. What's your relationship with Mr. Arisugawa? Hold on. You met Arisugawa? You? Yes. Are you hurt? I can't say I am. That's good. Consider me relieved. Please don't leave. Kato's large hand grabbed Samajima's by the suit. I'm asking you for something. If you know something, I want you to tell me about it. Or will you betray me? But I never intended to. You're the police officer betraying a citizen. A long silence fell over them. After a few excruciating moments, the air began to move. Would you like to meet with him then? With Kikuchi Ryo, I mean. Can I? Where is he now? How about you have your reunion at the amusement park? So it'd be you, Ryo, and me, right? Yes, though there may be others. I want to go. I want to see Ryo. We will go there this weekend then. I will provide the tickets. Okay. Are you satisfied now? Have I remained as someone you can put faith in? Of course. Thank you so much. You're always so unfair. Interesting. He rose up and, like, really kind of, like, got in his face. Seeing this, like, this kind of, like, determined and action-oriented Suou is really interesting, because he's so much been, like, very passive observer until he kind of snaps. And then when he snapped, he became, like, a kidnapper. But even then, he wanted to be closed off in his own little world. This is a Suou who is directly caring for others and connecting with other people. And it seems like it's grounding him, which is really cool to see. He was my least favorite character up till this point, but seeing him in an actual state that I'm considering growth gives me a lot of hope for him. I'm getting tense. Will I really get to meet Ryo? Ryo! So, whoa! I was worried sick. I'm so glad you're okay. I really am. You're exaggerating. You are quite well suited for amusement parks, Kato. Mr. Samajima, thank you for inviting me. That goes for you too, Ryo. Yay, Kato's here. I want to have some ice cream. That does look good. Maybe I'll have some. I did say you wouldn't be able to eat it all. Oh. Well, at least you have someone who doesn't mind eating the excess. Hello? Oh, what a tense meeting. Oh my gosh. Because we have Sagajima. So we have the two from the pink house. I'm not thinking of their names. And we have Ryo and Saito. Ryo obviously sees like Samajima as an enemy because I'm guessing he orchestrated the whole like putting him under house arrest and taking Midori away. So like Ryo has beef with him, and then Kaito has beef with the writer guy because he's really creepy and weird. And so now all four of them are here, and the only person who's like probably keeping this from going really bad is Midori. So that's gonna be really fun. The 5 people gathered in this clouded, I think it means crowded amusement park with a strange group. Let's have some fun, Ryu. We're all here to cheer you up. Alright. The cheery music all around created a light dissonance. Let's go, Kaito. Time tends to fly when you're having fun. You're right. Colorful light decorations illuminated the backs, further emphasizing the strange atmosphere. However, they were still able to enjoy their time. Osamu, again! Let's go again! Hell yeah, that wasn't nearly enough. Let's take the front this time. Midori and Adasugawa were on the roller coaster multiple times. I love high places. Samajima went on the high bike ride by himself. Such carefree people, I feel embarrassed for expecting something. I breathed heavily. Then I shifted my gaze to my friends, who'd finally met again. I brought some warm tea. Have some. Thanks. You came prepared, huh? Kikuchi Ryo and Suou Kato were taking a break on the bench. I was looking forward to this, so yeah. I even have some hand warmers. They should be a bit deeper in. Aha! The bundle of papers fell out of the bag. I'll get them. Are these all letters? Kikuchi Ryo widened his eyes when he saw Kato's large body. As he hid his face in embarrassment. I got a reply from Mr. Samajima. So he actually gave it to you. But I wasn't sure how to respond, so I figured I'd write multiple replies and pick the best one. I also wrote a letter for you, even though I never got your response. Really? Just one, though. Kato wagged his invisible tail as if it was all he'd been waiting for. I like how he has an invisible tail. Wow, thank you so much. Have you been getting enough sleep? Not recently. Promise me you will from now on, okay? Sure, let's go get some takoyaki. Kato smiled and ran off. Left by himself, Kikuchi waited for Kato to disappear from sight, then took out one of the letters he just got. Sorry, Suou. Unlike you, I'm not the type who can wait. Ryo. His handwriting sure was pretty, like something straight out of a textbook. Was he working on his penmanship, Ryo wondered. I remember the morning I found you next to me. I'm really sorry for what I said back then. Did I seem like a rude young boy to you? That's painfully similar to how I feel, Ryo thought. I'm still very glad that you met me with a smile back then. Ryo, apple pie looks really good, so I got it too, and... Wait, when are you reading the letter? Hey, Suou. Yes? Will you continue writing letters to me no matter what kind of person I am? Ryo knew how unfair that question was. Of course. It wasn't exactly nice to make him promise something without knowing all the details. It wasn't like him to put up an insurance in case Suou began rejecting him. I see. Even so, though it may have been brief, Suou's word gave Kikuchi Ryo some peace of mind. Midori, are you sleepy? Ah, that play must have been tiring. Alright, I'll carry you around. Don't worry, I'll do it. Aren't you just as tired? But, what, you want me to carry you as well? No, forget it. Just tell me when you get sleepy. What's wrong? Are you tired too, Kaito? Oh no, I'm not. I wonder if my frail arms can carry you. I'm not tired, okay? This was a mirror house, but Suou was walking around while looking at his feet. He wanted to overwrite his current emotional state with fun memories. Right, I want to go to the Ferris wheel. The view should be exceptional in the evening. Huh? For you? Mr. Samajima? He looked around but couldn't see anything besides his own reflections. Ferris wheels are way too slow. Let's go on the merry-go-round instead. Huh? Come on, Suou Kato, don't be a stranger. Still carrying the now sleeping Midori, Arasugawa widened a smile behind his glasses. His face as he did that was reflected by countless mirrors. Looking around, all Suou saw was his own reflection in the mirrors. Ferris wheels are boring. Let's go by the merry-go-round, shall we? You're down, right, Suou Kato? Carrying the still asleep Midori, he smiled through his glasses. The smile was reflected by the mirrors so many times over. The merry-go-round continued to spin and cheerful music played. Suou usually loved riding the white horse here, but he didn't really want to get on it right now. I read your book. That's so. And how was it? It was very good. Although that's my Mamiya. It's also everyone else's Mamiya. That doesn't go against what you said, right? Right, exactly. There's no way you could remember what happened in 2003. Oh. So this Arasugawa remembers what happened. So what's going to happen now? Because this is Arasugawa from 2012 meeting Suou in 2003. So he remembers Suou dying, and now Suou's here. So he's like, what's going to happen? What do you mean? The music's so good. What are you trying to say, Arasugawa Osuma? I mean, how can you even say that? I mean, it's 1999 now, isn't it? That's why what I'll tell you now will be for future view. Tell me, Mamiya Yumehisha, what does Arasugawa Osuma know that the space-time has been doubled? Because I told him. Have you forgotten, spectator? In 1999, I vanished at the end of December. It's December 1999 now. Arasugawa can meet Mamiya. Why aren't Arasugawa Osamu and Samajima Satoru from 2012 here? That's simple. Because they can't meet Mamiya. It's all because of the blending you did, Spectre. I won't let you complain about anything that happens in this double star. So, that's the problem. He's opened Mamiya up to being able to directly manipulate them again. At least the ones who are from or remember the right times. My future? My head? Have you finally remembered? Did you notice the distortion in this place? Excellent. Now, do some heavy thinking, Suou Kato. Use your imagination to its fullest. And use it to remember what happened in 2003. 2003? You're 19. You grew up in a cheerful young man. Use your imagination you're so proud of to envision yourself like that. Hard-boiled Wonderland. So, this'll be interesting. Year of his death, 2003. 4 years ago, in 1999. The strange sea he saw as a nice dream at the end of December vanished like foam. I don't remember much of what happened back then. I was too shocked by the disappearance of a dear friend. Oh wow, look at this Suou. I feel like that was a rite of passage for me. And now I want to become an adult who can do anything to protect the futures of other people. His life no longer filled him with an insatiable thirst. He'd finally found a way to reach a compromise with fantasy, to interact with dream-filled stories written by others. At some point, it'd become a habit of him for him to read children's books. There were ample amounts of distance between him and his fantasies of people who had no ties to, and also enriched his everyday life in pleasant ways. A popular new children's book? Normally, the children's book section was unremarkable, but now there was a large pop-up advertising a new work. A new Arasugawa book? Wow, that takes me back. I used to read his stuff all the time a few years ago. And his name is... Huh? Congratulations, Mr. Arasugawa. This is bound to get multiple printings. Whoa, he changed too. Right. Oh, that's good to know. In 2000, he was unable to write anything, no matter how hard he tried. But that changed after he devoured Mamiya's flesh. As long as they possess the desire to change, people can become anything. You just gotta have the resolve to discard the personality you built up over the years. We ate the flesh and changed the course of fate. No one can tell whether I was better before or now. And I myself have no choice but to be satisfied with what actually is there. Mamiya, I took your fantasy and birthed a Mamiya of my own. I left the Mamiya I love in the past. To me, you're the story you left, that is all. We've received many letters from readers. The message you left at the end, the one asking if they knew Mamiya, was very effective. People enjoy talking about themselves. The reason they like reading in the first place is because they want to know for themselves. They want to know themselves through the eyes of another. Some mentioned having imaginary friends when they were little. Others claim they purposely created fantastical entities. All in all, there were a lot of variety to the things that's being said to them. That's all well and good. Anything they read belongs to the readers the moment they take it in hand. He chuckled, clearly satisfied. Mamiya was a shared illusion. Didn't have to belong to Arasugawa alone. Nothing would be better than it all becoming common knowledge, acknowledgeable by all. Welcome back, Osamu. I'm back, Mamiya. Arasugawa sat down on the sofa and was approached by 4 silhouettes, all accompanied by the smell of lotus flowers. Eating this kind of thing again? You should probably start watching your nutrition. Shut up. I'll look at somebody who ate whatever he wanted and die a peaceful death. So, how did the horse race turn out? You get the paper? Show me the results. It's all of Mamiya's incarnations from the first time. You didn't even place a bet. Fine, here. It's a new moon tonight, Osamu. Plenty of stars to see in the sky. Guess I'll look after them after having a smoke. Anyway, let's get to the point. How did our book turn out? It's getting a second print. Oh, that's great. Nice. It really is, huh? I'll have to thank the editor. Arasugawa hadn't given up on his ambition he'd failed to achieve in 2000. After the commune in the house to the view of Tokyo Tower was disbanded, he secretly continued to experiment. He wanted to write a story about Mamiya, and to that end he studied everything about Mamiya and fantasy. And so, he'd be able to perceive the Mamiyas of those who lived in that house. They appeared before him as so-called tulpas. It was easy after I accepted it was all fantasy and illusion. Spending a month practicing to see things that aren't there is easier than writing a book. I don't care if I can't go back to where I was before. I've been crazy ever since the day I ate Mamiya's flesh. As long as you're satisfied. Smile, Mamiya. I'm here to try to fulfill our desire, the very one you see fulfilled. We want to share Mamiya. Instead of seeing just a single one, we'd rather split them among everyone else. The thing we've been aiming for since the year 2000 is a shared illusion. And you need to be here at the heart of it. If that's what you desire, we'll play along. Memes and the viral spreading of information will rule the world. Yeah. We'll take the beginning of the shared illusion just as we did the name. Plagiarism? We received a pretty strange fan letter. Well, I believe you should take a look just in case. The sender was Suou Kato. Huh? No way! The book is about Mamiya. Oh. Kato was more surprised than he'd ever been in the few past years. The popular work he'd picked up on a whim was about a friend he had since childhood. If you also had a Mamiya by your side, do let me know about them in secret. The line in the afterword of the editor's address made his eye swirl. How did you write letters again? I hope I'm not writing anything rude. I wouldn't want to make them feel too bad. The fact that somebody knew Mamiya filled Kato's heart with gratitude. I don't care if he never reads it. I just want to express my gratitude. He felt like a forgotten craving had just been reignited within him. Thank you, Mr. Arasagawa, for writing about Mamiya. Putting his envelope motions on paper, Kaito soon lost himself in the letter. He poured more strength into his hand as he held the clean, faded paint blue paper. I see, I see. I know Mamiya too. Because Mamiya is mine. The letter from Suou Kaito began with those words. The Mamiya that he went on to describe was nothing like the imaginary friends the other readers conveniently referred to. Arasagawa was certain about one thing. He's definitely met our Mamiya. I'll write you a response. Let's meet to have a talk, Suou Kaito. Oh man, I think I know how this goes. Hello, Mr. Arasagawa. It's an honor to meet you. The person who appeared at the meeting spot was a man far younger and burlier than he'd expected. I brought some of my favorite books of yours. Would you mind signing them for me? Sure, no problem. Thank you. That makes me really happy. So, what did you mean by Mamiya is mine? That was something Osamu had anticipated before his book was published. He had expected to find others capable of seeing Mamiya, people other than the four who'd gathered in the strange house in 1999. It had just simply happened that they were the ones being led there to Tokyo Tower. Ah, sorry. Excuse me. The Mamiya in the book was my Mamiya too, but I felt like he was just a component. Osamu felt like as though he'd had this conversation in a rainy cafe once. Listen, that's exactly what Mamiya is. Really? Mamiya has various factors depending on who's watching. I know other Mamiyas myself. Wow, I had no idea. The fact that he was moved by there being other Mamiyas made Osamu continue the assumption that he wasn't greedy about this. So, Suou, what's your Mamiya like? Well, my Mamiya was invisible. Oh. He was a nice invisible man that could only ever hear but I could never see. I guess that can happen, huh? Osamu thought as he rubbed his chin. That's what I'm believing until recently anyway. But looking back, it was different in the past. The past? When I was very little, before I started going to school, I could actually see him. Osamu had a bad feeling about this. As I got older, I would only be able to hear him and began treating him like an invisible person. Reading your book made me feel like it wasn't so nice of me. I see. Cold sweat trickled down his cheeks. Wait, how old are you now? I'm 19. When you were little, around 5 years old, did you see Mamiya then? Yes, though I might have started seeing him even earlier than that. That really takes me back. We used to play so much back then. Something was wrong. Did he see Mamiya first? Was he the first one? Something was very, very, very wrong. What if what Kaito was saying was true? It would mean that he'd met Mamiya in 1989. There were some gaps in the time before the house had met Mamiya. However, this was somebody who'd known Mamiya for about a decade. The time scale was entirely different compared to Mamiya's stories to the other four. What are you saying, Suou Kaito? What is this about Mamiya? You're curious. You want to know? Then keep watching, spectator. Oh, I'm cold. Got the chills. Mamiya Yumehisha. Gently. Put his hand on Suou Kaito's shoulder. Oh no. Is he gonna appear there? Like, is like Arasagawa gonna see that? Man. Mamiya is an imaginary friend that I created. Yeah. I won't break you, I swear. That winter day when they touched the soap bubbles. Just remember it. That's all you have to do. Christmas lights, delicious snacks. The many things you were given, that floaty sensation. The Tokyo sky that they flew through together. I love you, Mamiya. The goodbye they see as they tail to the scales. The invisible Mamiya that Kato talks about? Thanks for hugging me back there. It's me. The original. The original. He's been with me ever since I was born. He's my Mamiya. Arasugawa Osama realized something. He thought about and pondered Mamiya more than anyone else in the world. And he found the answer. The original Mamiya that the four of them had was created by Suou Kato. Whew, I got like lightheaded for a second there. I don't know what that was about. He had to die. Oh, is that it? To keep Mamiya as a shared illusion, Mamiya's source had to remain unknown. Otherwise, Mamiya, the shared illusion, wouldn't spread, continue, or exist. This was a mission. It was his mission as an author to protect the work he'd written. Mamiya is a shared illusion. Mamiya isn't yours. Suou slightly opened his eye and mouth, barely continuing to breathe. But then Arasugawa brought down the cigarette he was smoking to Suou's mouth. Take a deep breath. Here. Unable to handle it, he spat the cigarette out, his eyes welled up with tears. Seemingly satisfied, Osamu crushed the cigarette in the concrete and stood up. Why would you? Someone who had Mamiya. Imagine an establishment you just happened to walk into. You don't expect much from it, but the food you get is really good. Doesn't that make you want to share it with others? Huh? I spent the last few years thinking about how to write Mamiya and eventually came to a conclusion. Mamiya's got to be something that happens to be there. That's exactly what Mamiya is. I, or rather we, got a gift we didn't know how to return it to, and spent a long time thinking about what to do with it. Finding out where it's going to go is no good. And yet you went and said that you were where Mamiya belongs. The shared illusion won't be completed like this. That's why you gotta be eliminated. What? No hard feelings, but this will turn the Mamiya who saved us into a shared illusion again. Suddenly Suou's phone rang. Now of all times. Wanna try asking your friends for help? Arasugawa chuckled as he opened the phone. The display read, Samajima Satoru. Hello. You're not Kato. The sound quality wasn't clear enough to be certain, but Osamu was more than familiar with the voice and tone he heard from the other end of the line. Ed. He couldn't even hear him breathe. And yet, in but a moment, Osamu could feel the person on the other side harden like a stone. Arasugawa, what happened to Kaito? First, answer me this. Osamu's tone left no room for argument. Arasugawa knew that Sajima Satoru had a weakness for him. Who's more important to you, Suou or Mamiya? Mamiya. Shouldn't that be obvious? Yeah, I suppose it is. So that's how much this man means to him, huh? Osamu thought. Samajima might sense the original Mamiya on him. Come to the place I send over, right now, and don't tell anyone about this. Feeling dreary, he ended the call. Kaito, you're... Upon seeing the youth all covered in bruises and unconscious, the usual poker-faced man panicked. What have you done against him? The sheer gall to even ask that. Aren't you the one who secretly told him about Mamiya? Mamiya? You know the relationship between him and Kikuchi Ryo? Huh? No, Ryo's got nothing to do with... What are you talking about? I feel like we never really had a proper conversation in 1999. Looks like in 2003 we have to face each other and talk. The two briefly shared their thoughts. This is such bullcrap. This is the layered structure supposed to be our sin and punishment. I had no choice but to remain silent and watch things unfold. This was a recollection, neither 1999 or 2012, and I had no means of intervening as a spectator. Karma surrounding them is far too complex. Call me Mamiya. Arisugawa Osamu installed his Mamiya in Kikuchi-ryo. I see. I hope in you. Hajime Satoru found selfish peace in Suou Kato's existence. Mamiya is mine. And Arisugawa Osamu was unable to tolerate Suou Kato, who knew Mamiya other than the ones he'd created. But then, who is this child? Samejima Satoru, who believed the youth who'd appeared next to Suou Kato in 1999 was Kikuchi-ryo. The warped gears of fate slid into place and began making a satisfying sound as they moved. What do you intend to do? Samejima looked down at the sky blue hair of the bloodied, unconscious youth. He doesn't show it, but he's doing his best to keep himself from crying. Even this was all predestined. The flesh beyond the flowing blood invited the inhabitants of the pink house. Do we still have to have the house that you could see the Tokyo Tower from? No, I already sold it. But I bought a villa in the mountains. It's quiet and has soundproofing. Why are you asking that? There's nothing to gain from harming him anymore. There was no stopping them. What do you mean? This ain't nearly enough. He still doesn't say anything I want to hear. I won't let him get away. And you will use my house for it. You like sharing your places, don't you? Especially if it's the four of us. Huh? The cells were yearning. You should live there too, with Kikuchi-ryo, I mean. You want a life like before? You want it that bad, don't you? He saw right through him. It was seen right through. No one could escape the truths. It all converged upon this conclusion. Oh, I hate you so much. What a coincidence. Me too. The first thing Suou Kato saw upon awaking was a dusty floor. When he took a breath, the sandy air made him scowl. What is this? When he tried to move, he realized his arms and legs were bound. Before he could fully understand the situation, he saw the shoes belonging to the author he so respected, Arisugawa. Hey there, I see you're awake. Mr. Arisugawa, what are you doing this? Don't worry, I'll let you get right away. All you gotta do is say one thing, pretty simple, huh? Just say you have nothing to do with Mamiya. Huh? Wait, but Mamiya's a close friend I've known for a long time. He's very important to... Before he could finish, the sole of a shoe was on his head. That's not right, is it? You don't know anything about Mamiya, right? No, This time he was kicked in the back of his thigh, sending him flying and hurting him so much his throat became stiff. If I decide to do something, I'll see it through to the end. I'll keep at it until you correct yourself. I will never stop if you stop breathing. Poor thing. You must be thirsty. Let me get you some water. Good morning, Ryo. Satoru? Where are we? Listen well. From now on, you'll undergo training to truly become Mamiya. What do you mean? Don't worry, it's nothing difficult. Samejima loudly released a rabbit on the floor. A rabbit? Hey, it looks sick. We gotta feed... Kill and prepare it. Huh? Should be an easy task for Mamiya, no? What are you saying? No, take me back home. Kikuchi tried to stand up and run, but Samejima's long, slender leg was in his way. You have no right to refuse. What would you do back home anyway? There's no one who will want to protect you. No! Mamiya! Asumu! Help! Rely on me, not him. Kikuchi threw a tantrum and tried to run away, but Samejima grabbed his tiny body from behind. No, stop! Oh dear, don't be so feisty. He groaned in pain with his tight grip, then stopped struggling as he lost the strength to do so. While still in pain, his eyes met the twitching rabbits. You cannot escape anyway. With the blood vessel in the transparent ears, he saw a shard of destiny. You are weak and unfit for society. You will never be able to reach the understanding of others' words. The only type of communication you can manage is a simple one. It's a very primal method indeed. Oh, you mustn't look away. Look closely and remember that fact. Words are utterly powerless against violence. I brought your food. Eat, you will die if you don't. On the floor, he placed a roast beef-like meat covered in reddish-brown sauce. I'll leave it here. Tamajima left the room and some time passed. Ryo could only fight his hunger for a few hours after that. He couldn't look away from the meat. He took his hands and began eating the appetizing food. Hunger was the greatest spice, and the joy he gained from its meal was one of rarely expected. Oh, you ate it. Was it good? Was it good? You seem to have enjoyed it. Say, Ryo. Whose meat do you think that was? See you in the next meal. The question resounded in his head. For all you know, the rabbits may want you to eat them. He poked a little on the edge of the room. He puked. Lidlessness filled every inch of the space. Showing restraint was an option, but when people realized it was futile, they simply gave up. It was far easier to silently accept their state of thinking. Resistance was tiring. It was better just to stay in this room. I mustn't run. I can't run. Kikuchi Ryo, what are you saying? Of course you can run. I really want to tear the page and delete these words. Watching something so terrible unfold and being unable to do a thing is beyond irritating. If only someone could save you. Even so, Suou Kato refused to give up and continued to crawl his bound limbs. I need to get away from here as soon as possible. Alright, I'm not sure what's about to happen, but let's go ahead and wait. Because we've done a lot, I'm worried I'm losing track of things. And, yeah, this is getting disturbing quick. So, let's just take a break here, now that we're seeing how all these stories converge. It means a lot, it explains a lot. With, like, who these characters are, how they interact, their whole goal of passing Mamiya on, and their different approaches to it. And then ultimately, like, why Suou died is really interesting because it all has to do with how he's the source of Mamiya to begin with, which is just crazy. That implies a lot because why would an imaginary friend be able to spread in the first place? How did Suou Kato accomplish that? That's what I really want to know. Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. But I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the music too. The music's fantastic. It also makes these videos get claimed out of high heaven, so I never make any money on these things, but it is what it is. But I appreciate you being here, especially those of you who found this series and are enjoying watching my experience with it. Hopefully, we'll have more episodes to go through and lots of fun stories to explore together. But all in all, I just appreciate having you all here to join me on the journey. So thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for being a channel member or a patron if you are. But even if you're not, thank you for being here, because all of that helps. So regardless if you're like donating directly or whether you do it, you just are watching the videos as usual, like that all helps so much. And for me, it means the world. So thank you. I hope I can just be worthy of your help and support. But I think that's where we're going to end for today. So until next video, watch me or happen to see me in next. I'll see you there.